Peace. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to talk briefly about division within the black diaspora. See, like oftentimes people always saying, "Oh, we all black people, we all the same, we all get treated the same, we all experience this the same way, we all this, we all that." And the reality is that we all don't experience things the same. Um, Even when you think about colonization and enslavement, different colonies enslaved their people differently. The Spaniard method was different from the French. The French was different from the Dutch. The Dutch was different from the English. So it was many different methods of how people treated their slaves and how they ran their society. So I don't want to make this long and drawn, but like, yes, I get it that sometimes people are trying to preach solidarity, but at the same time, you can't neglect or kind of like ignore that certain black people, predominantly I'm speaking about the African American people in the United States are treated totally different than a Jamaican person might be treated, than a Haitian person might be treated, than a Dominican person might be treated, than a person from Africa might be treated. So we can't be sitting here ignoring that and saying like, oh, we all black, we all get treated the same, because that's not true. Because if you look around this country, the Jamaican people have their own neighborhoods, right? When you go to Jamaican neighborhoods, they got their own little businesses and stuff going on. You could go to a Trinidadian community and they got their own little businesses. You could go to an Indian community, right? And they could be darker than some of us, and they got their little businesses and stuff. You could go to many different communities that are black throughout this country that, you know, have their communities a certain way. They got their businesses and stuff like that, and the state does not fight against them the way they fight against the black people here that are descendants of slaves here. So when you look at it, like, you could go to a Caribbean neighborhood, you could go to a Haitian neighborhood, you could go to a Dominican neighborhood, you could go to any one of these factions of the black diaspora, and they are allowed to have businesses, they are allowed to thrive, they are allowed to do a lot of things. And people oftentimes ignore that to make it seem as though the black people here are just lazy, or they just don't want to work hard enough, or they are afforded the same opportunities as the other black people, when that's not really the case. The case is that the state violence here fights against the black people here totally differently than they fight against those other people that are part of the diaspora. Because at the end of the day, a lot of those other people that are part of the diaspora, they could just say they're not black. You know, oftentimes we see this. Oftentimes people say, "Oh, I'm not black," you know, meaning, I don't know what they mean by that, but they'll say, "I'm not black, I'm Caribbean, I'm this, I'm that, and the third." And then, like, you know, it's like, all right, cool. And the system is cool with that. It's cool. The system is cool when you don't have this solidarity amongst black people, right? When you shit on your own long distance cousins, brothers, uncles, sisters, aunts, and all that stuff, they okay with that. They okay with that division. So a lot of these people in the diaspora play into that division. So I'm just trying to remind us that people throughout the diaspora are targeted totally differently, and we can't ignore the fact that the people that are born and raised here in this country are catching hell. They're not allowed to erect businesses. I mean, not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying it's way easier for somebody else that does not identify with the black struggle here to get ahead than it is for somebody that does identify with that struggle. If Barack Obama went to the White House and he was on some strictly black agenda stuff, like, come on, he would never even been elected as a president, right? But so it just shows that, like, in order to get to certain places in this country, you have to kind of like neglect part of your blackness if you are black, or if we want to make black a universal thing, because I don't think it's a universal thing. Because when it comes to systemic injustices here in this country, everybody that's dark get treated than the people that were born here, raised here, and are descendants from slave here. Anybody else that's dark that comes from out the country, or you know, from a different foreign place, gets a better treatment than the people that were raised here in this land, who died in this land, who bled in this land, who suffered in this land. They get a better treatment. And another thing is that the people in this country, they feel some type of way about their government because they still have not really experienced freedom. When the difference is that the people that come here from a different country, they feel like they are being saved. So they don't have a problem with the government here because they looking at it like they came from a worse place to a better place and they are grateful from that. We then come from nowhere. We was here, we've been experiencing the same shit here, and we have not really gotten to a totally better place where we are left alone to do what we have to do for ourselves, because there's always somebody meddling and getting in between our affairs. So I think it's very important to highlight that in order for us to actually come together and work together to achieve something. Word. But let me know what y'all think. Comment, subscribe, share. If y'all like it. If y'all don't like it, I still would like to hear from y'all. Word. Peace.